I have been saying that I would post a video about how to hire a virtual assistant for your reselling business for probably a year now. I'm just gonna say it right now. I am so sorry if you have been waiting for this video, but it is here now. So you're gonna wanna watch to the whole end because here is what we're gonna go over today. I'm gonna be talking about the platform that I use with my virtual assistant. I'm gonna show you guys, walk you through how to do a job listing. I'm gonna give you some pros and cons when it comes to this platform that I use. And I'm going to tell you about my experience with my virtual assistant that I have had for my reselling business for a long time. I don't even know how many years it's been now. But hey, if you're new to this channel, welcome. My name is Ashley Wheeler. I am a full-time reseller on Poshmark and eBay. And I go out in the real world, I find items and I sell them online, and I show you guys how to do the same. This is either educational for you or purely entertainment when you guys get to see us thrifting. So if that is something that is interesting to you, hit that subscribe button because I do post 2 videos on a weekly basis. And so you never want to miss out when one is coming out. Now, if you are new to reselling, you might be thinking, Ashley, why on earth would I need a virtual assistant to help support my reselling business? Very good question. And to be honest, if you are just starting, this might not be something that you really need. If you are also doing this part-time, this might not be something that you need. However, on the flip side, it might be something that you need if there's a certain level that you're wanting to reach in your reselling business, but you only have so much time you can devote to it. Or you're trying to scale your business and you need more hours in the day and you just simply cannot produce that. If you have found a way to find more hours in the day, let me know. I am here. Please let me be the first one that you tell. The platform that I use is called Upwork. Upwork is one that I landed on because I really liked the transparency and the way of communication, as well as the protection of both virtual assistants and the person who is hosting the jobs. There are many different platforms online that you can hire virtual assistants. There are places such as Fiverr, there's freelancer.com, there's Upwork, Guru, so many different kinds, but I landed on Upwork because number one, it was one that was recommended to me by another friend. And number two, as I've already said, the transparency that I'm gonna get to show you guys soon is something that was very important to me because I don't know about you, but hiring someone that I've never met before, it was slightly intimidating. And you may have been feeling the same way. Maybe you've been on the fence about whether or not you should hire someone out of the local area. Well, here are some things that I have found to be positives when hiring people online. Number one is you can look in different countries. The cost of living in different countries can completely vary. And so simple assistant positions in places like the Philippines is really affordable if you are just starting your business or you're trying to scale your business, but you don't really have a lot of wiggle room to give towards a virtual assistant or someone that you could hire locally, but you have to pay like 2-3 times the amount to have them work per hour. The other thing that I really enjoyed about having a virtual assistant online is different time zones. One of the nice things about it that I have seen actually producing more sales in my Poshmark and eBay store was the fact that my virtual assistant works while I'm sleeping. So to the platforms, it appears like I am on their website 24/7, but in actuality, it's multiple people who are working in my stores at all different hours of the day. So you need to think for a moment, where do you feel like you can delegate in your business to somebody else that can help you be able to do more of what only you can do? So for example, since I was looking at for a virtual assistant, one of the needs that I needed to be able to focus more on is photographing more items to have as listings. I wanted to increase the amount of items I was listing per day. So having a virtual assistant who could upload my photos to the drafts on eBay and produce all of my listing details and then save that so that way I could just go in and hit publish every single day. That was a huge time saver. So that way I could spend the time photographing more items at home. So when it comes to Upwork, there's truly a vast amount of talent and expertise that you can have access to, which is tremendously beneficial. And as I mentioned, they do have a management system inside of this platform that really helped bring the security that I had when it came to a virtual assistant. So I am going to go onto my website. So this is the main dashboard of Upwork, and this shows me any of the positions that I have. I have my contract down here. I'm not going to go to that because you'll get to see the picture and the name of the person that I'm working with. But one of the things that I do like, let me actually get to the right screen. There is a section on Upwork once you have a contract in place called the work diary. And what I love about the work diary is while the virtual assistant is working, they have to be on a laptop, and it does a number of things. The first thing it does is screenshots every 10 minutes what is on their desktop. That always allows you to know whether or not the virtual assistant is working or are they screwing around and hanging out on Instagram and Facebook. Then the other thing that I like about this area is you can see in the green down here, it does the activity level. So it kind of rates what the virtual assistant is doing at that point and if they are working or could they be working faster. It shows the amount of keywords that they've utilized and even the amount of clicks on the mouse. This right here brought a lot of security to me because it helped eliminate that need to feel like I have to monitor what my virtual assistant is doing on a regular basis. And do I really trust, are they sharing my closet? Are they sending offers? Because I could go back to this diary and take a look to make sure that they were doing the work that I was asking them to do. The other thing that I really like about Upwork is on both your mobile device, they have a messaging feed. So it just looks like text messaging and you can text back and forth with your virtual assistant. And the other thing that's nice about it is because my virtual assistant is in the Philippines, it tells me at the top what the time is local to her. So that way I would know what times she is tend to working, what times does she tend to reply. The other thing that I've really enjoyed about Upwork is I don't ever have to worry about the financial portion. As I started my Upwork account, I was able to connect my business bank account with the platform. And so every Monday, Upwork pulls the money out of my account and they do all of the pay to my virtual assistant. I don't have to worry about whatever fees it takes. I don't have to worry about taxes and what she has to do in that regard. Upwork takes care of that whole process, which is why I highly recommend if you are taking a look at doing a virtual assistant, use a platform like Upwork or any other platform that you feel comfortable utilizing because there's so much more protection with the virtual assistant as well as with you when you're working on a platform like this. Another neat thing about it is if you do have specific projects that you're working on or you do have short-term or long-term relationships that you do with virtual assistants, it's kind of same as like Airbnb when you go and stay at a place and when you leave. Not only can you as a person visiting there do a review on how was the house and how was the customer service of the people who own the house, but they can also do a review on you. And that is what happens with Upwork. You can, once a project has been completed, put in, hey, they did a really good job. You could even essentially add to their portfolio by showing some pictures of maybe projects that they worked on. But likewise, that virtual assistant or that freelancer or specialists can do the same thing back to you. I have been asked many times over the years, aren't you worried about your virtual assistant having your password and having your information for these different platforms that you have items selling on and there's a balance of income? And my answer to that is no, because if you change the bank information on Poshmark or even on eBay, there's authorization steps along the way. There is a 3-day holding pattern. And I don't know about you, but I check that stuff on a daily basis. How is the balance on my account? Do I need to do a withdrawal? And you would know right then and there that something has changed and that they're trying to take the money out. Not only would you be able to fire them immediately, give them a review about what they've done, but if you file that to Upwork, if I remember correctly, they will make it to where they are unable to be hireable on this platform again. And I don't know about you, but if I was in someone else's shoes, I would not make a decision that would impact my long-term potentials of getting employment by just a quick short-term thing. I know that not everyone is that way or thinks that way, but yes, it could very well, someone could try to do something like that and you might have to go through that process. But that's why Upwork is here to protect you, because they will make sure that they are never hireable again. I would hate to have that happen happen, but it hasn't ever happened to me. And the people that I have heard use Upwork, that has not happened to them as well. Okay, so let's go over how to put in a job posting. So we're gonna go to post a job right here. And I've got off to the side the description of what I had put before. That way it'd be a little easier. So the first question they're gonna ask is short-term, part-time work, or longer term, longer hours. So less than 30 hours a week for less than 3 months, or more than 30 hours a week for more than 3 months. So at this point, when I was trying to hire a virtual assistant, I kind of didn't know what I was looking for, and I didn't want it to be so niche that it then made it to where this position couldn't grow. So I ended up saying eBay and Poshmark lister, because that was the main thing I wanted to hire for, but then I put and assistant. That way I could say, hey, it could also be customer service and stuff like that moving forward. Then we make a decision on what that job category means. Is it a general virtual assistant? Is it data entry? And there's a lot of other categories. I think when I put it in as data entry, that kind of makes sense when it comes to being a lister. So then you can put in key terms, because just like algorithms of all of these other platforms, we want to be as descriptive as possible, so that way when people have it in their portfolio or on their resume, their keywords match what is in our job posting. So we've got virtual assistant, yes. We've got eBay lister, yes. We got data entry, virtual assistants, that's funny. So you got assistant and assistants. Product listing, yes, sure. I just saw eBay marketing. That would be fantastic. List-based, administrative support, researcher, yes, because I want them to find the sold comps of this item that I want them to list. Computer skills, yes. Time management, yes. So you can just continue to add. For best results, they say add 3 to 5 skills. I think you should do as many as possible, so that way it is never a question what it is that you are looking for, and then proceed to the next area. This has changed a little bit since the last time I did this, so I am intrigued right now. I would say if you're looking for an entry level, you can pay a lower wage if you are doing that. Intermediate, I kind of felt like was the area, like I want someone to have expertise in it, but I also can teach them along the way. So I believe that's what I put. Then we're gonna go to location area. I put worldwide. I didn't want to look in the US because I know the cost of living out here is so much more. Then you do have an hourly rate that you can do, or you can do a project budget. Another friend of mine who does have a virtual assistant on Upwork, she told me that she actually charges her virtual assistant based on each listing. She has this virtual assistant strictly for listing items. So the more that this person lists, the more money that she makes. So she could do 5 listings in an hour, or she could do 10 listings in an hour. Each listing she's gonna get charged for. And so I think if you're gonna do something like that, the project budget might be the better way. So the from and to, things have changed since I first started on Upwork. Previously, you could hire a virtual assistant in the Philippines for $3. I don't know if that's still the case. And I think it could also very well be what is their experience when it comes to this business. So let's go ahead and say minimum is $3 and maximum is $5. I know, isn't that crazy to think that people get paid that wage? But that's really good pay in certain areas. It immediately brings in the title that I've already added. Now this is where we're gonna put in the job description. Here is what I've had in the job description before. I have right now, I'm gonna make some adjustments, but it says, I am looking for someone to assist me with my e-commerce business. Tasks include, but are not limited to. Feel free to screenshot this area right now. You can use this description and put it in your own job listing and then just tweak how you want it to be. I would definitely put in the description, tasks include, but are not limited to, because it gives proper expectations. Creating listings on eBay through effective titles, drop down descriptions, details, and providing a comparable cost per item. Creating listings on Poshmark through effective titles and descriptions, along with determining the best cost per market's current value to list the item at. And then I did have at the bottom, using the Vendoo platform to create listings on, because at one point I still was a little wary about a virtual assistant having both my eBay and Poshmark user and password. And so if that is something that you're still like, Ashley, I can't get around like that, I'm still just a little nervous about that, no need. Use a platform like Vendoo, or in this case now I use Flip because it is a free cross-listing tool. You can have them only have that user and password. And then you can have your eBay and your Poshmark passwords that are attached to Flip. So the only thing they're ever going to have access to is flip.com, but then they could push live if you wanted them to, listings on all of your platforms without having the user and passwords for each platform. If you want that security, that is one way to absolutely do it. And if you didn't know about Flip's platform being a free cross listing, I'm going to put in the description below. You can get on the wait list and be able to have access to that tool for free. I feel like that is such a valuable thing for resellers. So I have all that information right here, and you can of course add more if you wanted to. If you want to add more skills, you can do that here. Then you can also take a look at some of these other preferences, screening questions. The questions is a really good one to say. Describe your experience with similar projects. Those are a lot of really great questions. I like that they have suggestions on those at this point. Oh, wow, I just made it live. I didn't mean to do that. Well, we've got it live, so I can close that later. Congratulations, your job listing is live. Now this is actually probably really good that I did this, because here's the next section that you're gonna wanna know more about. So immediately when you put a job listing up, it's going to show you some freelancers that you should invite. What I had put in as skill sets, they have found other people who are looking for work and they are connecting me to them. So I could invite this person to take a look at my position. Meanwhile, my job listing is out there, so people can start to see that and then come to me and go, hey, I'm interested. So you've got $6.99, some are $20.99, depending on what it is that they're doing. And the nice thing about this is you can also see, hey, this person they have 15 relative skills to the job listing that you had posted. Then you can also go in, I kind of like this person at the top, so I'm gonna click on her. You can go into hers and you can see what she has. So shows the experience that she has. She talks about the things that she is capable of doing. Then she also says the expertise that she has in different categories and brands. This is all really great information for you to see. But the other key thing is this is in Pakistan. Like I've mentioned before, you want to start communicating with someone immediately. Get them on a Zoom call. Are they understanding the questions that you're asking? Are they answering in a very fluid way? Because that's going to be super big when you are asking them to do work for you later. Kind of a footnote in that as well, I would also recommend that if you are saying I want a long-term relationship with an assistant, be very upfront when you're working with someone that you are doing a 30-day trial or maybe even a 2-week trial. You want to let them know, hey, let's see your best work at hand and let's see if you enjoy working with me. Let's do a 2-week trial and see how this goes. Do you feel like this is a good fit? I'm gonna let you know if this is a good fit, and it gives you a comfortability to go at the end, you know, this just didn't work out, whether it was personalities, lack of communication, or just not doing the type of role that you were asking for. You can kind of have that freedom to go, hey, this just didn't work out, and that is okay. Previously, I could say like, I want someone in the Philippines. They didn't have that in the job listing this time. That, or I probably missed it, if I'm being honest. Close filters, ta-da. Okay, so now this shows me April is in the Philippines. She's $6 an hour. That is $1 higher than what we were asking for, but that might be kind of where the market is right now. One of the things that I feel like I have learned while having a virtual assistant for the last few years is find someone who can do one task and let them do that very well. Then if you want someone to be maybe a digital creator for you or someone who posts different things on your social medias, let someone else do that job. And then if you want someone who is strictly doing your accounting and different things like that for all of the platforms that maybe you sell on, let one person do that. I know that means that's a lot more money, but I've noticed when I try to give my virtual assistant like too many tasks to work on, it's kind of hard for her to figure out which one she should do first. So I have to keep reminding her, like, here's priority. Here, if you don't have this work, you can work on this. But I've seen her do very well when I allowed her just to strictly do drafts of my listings. So I originally hired my virtual assistant in June 11th of 2019. I hired my virtual assistant because at the time I was working full-time and I was trying to make more money as a reseller reseller, but was super frustrated because I wasn't, no matter what I seemed to do on Poshmark, I wasn't making more money. And I reached out to a couple people at the time who were doing reselling full-time, and I asked them, how in the world are you doing this and how can I get to that level? And one of my really good friends now, I'm just gonna name drop her because she deserves it, is Denali by El Ducho Thrift. I remember asking that question to her and she said, well, first and foremost, what platforms are you on? And I was like, I am on Poshmark. She also asked how many listings I had. And I think at the time I had about 700 listings. And I told her that information. And she said, the first thing you need to do is get all those listings cross-listed over to eBay. You need to be on another platform if you are wanting to have a full-time income with this, based on the type of store that you have. I was like, I do not have the time. I am working full-time. I am managing 6 kids that are home at this point. I just do not have the time to cross-list everything over. And then from that point, she said, well, then get a virtual assistant. That day, I made the decision to do it before the emotion came of freaking out going, what the heck am I doing? She told me to do that and I immediately jumped over to Upwork and put in my job application. I hired someone, like I said, in 2019, and I said, hey, all these listings that are on Poshmark, I need you to move them over to eBay. Not move them, but I need them also duplicated over on eBay. And it was at the time when there were no cross-listing platforms. In that first month, I made $1,000 plus on eBay, and I only paid her a couple $100s to do it. Paying just that tiny little amount was producing in a much greater profit. And here we are today. It has been almost 3 years since this virtual assistant has worked with me, and I have been so proud to have her on my team, be able to work with her. And one of the things that has been truly rewarding that I'm looking forward to continuing hiring more people in the future is knowing that she has 4 daughters at home, and by having this job listing that she gets to do remotely, she gets to help support her family this way. During COVID, her husband was unable to do work because in their country, there was a lot of restrictions and his job dissipated. The only thing that kept them going through that time was the work that I was providing her with. There's been times where she has sent me pictures of birthday parties they've had. She homeschools her kiddos, and she'll talk about when things are really good or when there's flash flooding in their areas and she loses internet and was unable to work. I am a part of her life, and I get to give her this opportunity to support her family, and I didn't realize how rewarding that would be for me. And it has made me so encouraged to continue to hire other people locally to us, because I just love being able to develop a positive relationship, but also know that I get to help someone support their family and support their life outside of work. If you are someone who is looking at your reselling business and saying, I do want to scale this, I do want it to grow, I need help though, consider doing a virtual assistant. It's very simple. It can get a little frustrating at times. You are gonna have those bumps of being a manager of employees and having to learn how to properly communicate to them, how to properly say, hey, you need to take care of this, or you keep making this mistake and we need to review that. It does come with having to be that. And if you are not ready for that, I highly recommend not only reading books about what it takes to be a good manager, but I also recommend doing Denali's course on hiring a virtual assistant. She comes from a background of being in HR, and so she understands that area to a T. I have personally learned so much from her, and I continue to learn more from her, and she has multiple employees that are not only locally to her, but also online. So doing that course would really help you. If you feel like you need more education on this matter, I do recommend that. I'm going to put her course down below. If she does provide me with any discounts, I will put that in the description as well. I got to talk to her about it first. Or if she does have any sales going on right now, I will also put that into the description too. So that way you guys can have more education on this area, because my goal as well as hers is to see you succeed having this business at home, creating a flexible lifestyle so that way you can do the things you enjoy while also being able to financially fund your family as well. I hope this answers all of your questions, but if there are some questions left unanswered, comment down below on what those questions are, and I will do a follow-up video or maybe just do a Q&A video, whatever works best depending on what kinds of questions you guys have. I will absolutely do that for you. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.